Joseph's brothers. After Samson, the story shifts, not to kings or judges, but to something far more familiar, family. The story of Joseph isn't about a villain from the outside. It's about evil that comes from inside the home. Joseph's brothers don't wake up planning genocide or conquest. They're driven by something smaller and more dangerous. Jealousy. Genesis tells us they hated Joseph because he was favored, because he dreamed big, because his future threatened their sense of worth. Genesis 37:4-11. And that resentment doesn't stay quiet. It escalates. They throw him into a pit. They debate killing him. Then they do something colder. So, when the Midianite merchants came by, his brothers pulled Joseph up out of the pit and sold him for 20 shekels of silver. Genesis 37:28. That's not a metaphor for evil. That's a brother selling his own flesh and blood, treating him like property, deliberately dismantling his life. And here's the part we often rush past too quickly. God does not stop them. No lightning, no angel grabbing their wrists, no divine interruption. Joseph is sold, Joseph is dragged away, Joseph disappears. Which leads to the hardest question people ask about God. Where was God when this happened? The answer Scripture gives is not that God approved, but that God outmaneuvered. Years later, after famine, betrayal, and prison, Joseph stands before the very men who broke his life. And instead of revenge, he says something that reframes everything. You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good. Genesis 50:20. Not used it for good, meant it for good. That doesn't excuse the sin. It doesn't minimize the trauma. It doesn't pretend the betrayal didn't scar him. It means God's purposes were never hostage to their cruelty. Here's the revelation moment. God didn't need good intentions to save a nation. He didn't need righteous behavior to preserve Israel. He took the ugliest human choice, betrayal, and bent it toward life. This is where the story pivots emotionally, because Joseph's story isn't just shocking anymore, it's personal, and it quietly tells every generation the same thing. The worst thing done to you does not have to be the final word over you. God doesn't panic when humans sin. He plans around it.